to this happy place, welcome.
Hey guys, it's Tim.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, I'm here. Yeah.
I messed you up.
You messed me up. I'm with my wife.
I'm sorry.
Audrey-Ann.
It's me.
It's you. Welcome. Episode 20.
Yeah. 20. That's a big deal right there.
That's a big flipping deal.
Celebrate. I should have cake. I should have a churro.
We should go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have skipped another week or two so that our 20th aired while we were at Disneyland.
That's
in
true.
2 weeks.
We could have done that, but we didn't.
So it'll be episode 22, hopefully.
We should be like episode 25 by now, but
yeah,
we've missed a couple of weeks.
We've missed a couple times, yeah. And this one is also a day late. But we've had a sick baby.
We have life.
Hey, no one's getting mad, okay? Calm down.
No, that's true.
Nobody's mad. I'm just explaining the sick baby thing.
Yeah, sick baby.
No one was in the mood on Saturday or Sunday to do a podcast with dealing with a sick baby all day. So
I could probably have done it. I don't know what you're dealing with.
I'm so tired.
But you know what? I appreciate you. You're a great mom.
Okay, anyways, we're here to talk about Disneyland. This is not a parenting podcast.
Kind of is, though. We parent by taking our kids to Disneyland.
That's what we're known for.
Yeah. People ask us about how do you take 4 kids to Disneyland? Put them in a car and put them in strollers and you can go.
I remember, though, at first when we had just 2, I remember the first trip where we didn't have another adult with us and we were nervous about it. It's so funny to think about that now.
That's true.
Because my sister would always come with us. Mm-hmm. And then that year we went like an extra time and she couldn't come. And we were like nervous to take both kids without another adult. And now we take 4 kids.
That's all we do.
We take 4 kids without any other adults. And we took 4 kids without any other adults on a plane across country and went to Disney World. So, yeah.
Speaking of Disney World,
mm-hmm.
If you've never been to Disneyland, you may have some preconceived ideas of what it's like, just like how we had some preconceived ideas of what Disney World is like.
Right.
But we're here to set the matter straight.
I'm not sure, honestly, like what I know some, but like what the preconceived ideas would be. Like what I know is from when I lived back east and worked with a lot of Disney fans. And they all grew up going to Disney World. I was from the West Coast, grew up going to Disneyland. I had the desire to someday go to Disney World. This was before I had ever been. None of them really had a desire to go to Disneyland. They thought they were set.
Yeah,
like,
oh no,
we're good. Yeah. We're good. It's bigger. We have everything. Why would we go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people I know who always go to Disneyland would like to go to Disney World, you know, but I feel like I hear that a lot, that it's like, you know, no, we're good. We got Disney World. And
that's not the original.
That it's, you know, yeah, I think there's the charm of Disneyland being the original, the one that, you know, Walt Disney was present at. Not that he didn't want to be present, of course, at Disney World. He just didn't get the opportunity. But like that sentimentality of, you know, and history of like where it began for Disneyland. But yeah.
Also, I think a lot of people come to California. They don't go to California for Disneyland. You know, like, I'm going to go to Anaheim.
Why not?
I just want to go. And people go to Florida. Well, I guess they go to other things for Florida.
And there's like the beaches.
There's
and
beaches and stuff, but it's like Orlando. You go to Orlando for Disney World or Universal.
I've never been.
I've never been to Universal though.
I've never either anywhere like California or obviously Orlando.
Yeah.
I always wanted to when I was younger. Now it doesn't interest me a whole lot. There's a few rides that I'm like, oh, that looks like fun, but like enough to like plan a trip, not really.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways.
But so yeah, I thought it'd be interesting for all those because we do have some East Coasters that listen. People probably who are more familiar with Disney World, probably wondering like, what's the differences? Well, not so much the differences, but what to expect.
Yeah.
When you go to Disneyland for the first time, because you may have a totally different idea of what it's going to be like. Going to Disneyland for the first time when you're so used to going to Disney World. So we made a list.
Yeah, just a few. Not like,
20 things. Part 1 of 10.
No,
this isn't our Disney World recap. Sorry, don't have to worry about that.
No, just a few things that like just came to us. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but yeah.
So, the first thing is obviously Disneyland is much smaller than Disney World.
Right.
Disneyland is spread over, including California Adventure, around 600 acres.
Okay.
Of space. Disney World is 40 square miles. So it's
how many
like,
acres is that? I want comparison. I want,
Let's do a quick
really,
Google
I don't
search.
know acres. And I'm horrible with what is that? Spatial recognition. What is that? What would that be?
Yeah.
I'm really bad at it. Whenever you see it, like, oh, it's on an acre of land. I'm like, well, what is that? That doesn't mean anything to me. I think the boys know this, that isn't Disney World like the same size or bigger than San Francisco or something like that? What do the boys always say? They heard.
It's about the same size as the city of San Francisco. Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
So 40 square miles. So Disneyland's 600 acres. It's roughly the size of a football field. 1 acre.
Oh.
1 acre is about the size of a football field, roughly.
Okay, so like 60 football fields.
600.
600 football fields.
Okay.
Okay.
40 square miles is 25,600 acres.
And it's how many acres again?
600.
600 versus 25,000.
Yeah.
Let's just make it easy here. Yeah. Okay, 600 versus 25,000.
So,
that is a very big difference. But at the same time, a lot of Disney World, is that including all the land, all the hotels, or are those the parks?
No, it's the land. It's the land itself.
Right. So like, if you broke that down, if you not minimized, but, took that down to
just the parks.
Yes, it's still going to be bigger because there's 4 parks. Mm-hmm. But that's including all of the land, all of the hotels, and all of that, which is significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not like
well, at Disney World.
Just take that part off. Cut.
Disney World has its own, it's pretty much like they have their own city. They created their own city that they control that area. So they're able to expand. They have room to expand. All that
they could make like a few more parks.
They could. Yeah. Disneyland is landlocked. So they're in the city of Anaheim, surrounded by streets, houses, neighborhoods.
Those poor people.
Businesses, hotels.
Yeah.
Outside of the Disney hotels.
I mean,
they can't really expand.
No, I think they just mean, I know they've bought surrounding hotels and offices and then made the offices different thing. You know, they try to. But yeah, it's like when we were just staying at Disneyland Hotel a few months ago when we were in the Frontier Tower and we were facing a parking lot and a neighborhood of houses. And those poor people, man, you think the fireworks every night. I mean, obviously they're used to it, but it must make the property value go way down. But anyways, yeah, so it's a lot smaller. Obviously you don't have the 4 different parks, but other than Epcot and like the safari of Animal Kingdom, I mean, I would say it's comparable to like Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. You're not, so obviously there's going to be things you don't have like World Showcase and things like that. But a lot of the things that are in Disney World are also in Disneyland. Things are just more compact.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I hear all the time of, you know, I'll see it on Instagram or podcasts or whatever. They'll talk about a different ride or, you know, a different experience or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's in Disneyland. That's in Disneyland. One that I was just listening to, they were talking about the animation experience and none of them had ever done it. And they didn't know about it because it was like it's in Animal Kingdom and you take like a tram out to like a different area and do the animation experience. Where in California Adventure, in Hollywoodland, it's in the animation building where you go and you can do the animation experience. Then there's Turtle Talk in there. There's meeting Anna and Elsa. There's the Beast's Library, you know, so it's like all of those things are all put together where in Disney World, they're more spread out. You know, so, and there's things that are obviously here that aren't in Florida. Like you got Cars Land and Avengers Campus. And there are, you know, some rides here that aren't there, but like other than, well, I kind of already said that. Just I feel like it's comparable to the 2 parks, Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. And, so yeah, it's smaller, but a lot more packed in to the area. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of the same stuff. Well, just like I said, there's a lot of the same stuff. I think the only thing that's lacking is obviously, you know, Disney World has much more entertainment shows.
Yes.
They
shows like sing-alongs and things like that.
Like
the theater.
Frozen sing-along. They have the Beauty and the Beast show, the Indiana Jones show, and
Pixar, like the Pixar Fest. We didn't do it. Then there's like the Minnie and the Mickey and Minnie one. Yeah. There's Muppets 3D. Like there's a lot of those types of shows that aren't in Disneyland.
Yeah. So,
but I believe Disneyland has more nighttime spectaculars.
Yes.
Like, so you have 3 in one park. In Disneyland, you have the nighttime parade, whatever it is. Right now, it's the Main Street Electrical Parade for the rest of this month, and then
They didn't say what's going to be
They haven't
after.
said. I'm really hoping they bring back Paint the Night. I love Paint the Night. Then you have the fireworks and you have Fantasmic. And then over in California Adventure, you have World of Color.
Yeah.
So that's, 4 different nighttime shows in just 2 parks. So there's a lot of nighttime shows, even though there's less shows during the day to go do.
Yeah. So another thing that you will instantly notice as soon as you walk into the park, the Disneyland Castle, Sleeping Beauty's castle, is significantly smaller. But even though it's smaller, it's still just as beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's just like if you're expecting the huge wow factor that you get from Cinderella's castle, which it was a wow factor. that was probably one of my favorite parts of going to Disney World, honestly, was because I don't really get to do many new things. I don't get a lot of new experiences at Disneyland at this point. So walking in and seeing Cinderella's castle for the first time was a new experience.
Yeah.
Had, seen pictures, videos, commercials, whatever, my whole life. Getting to see it in person was one of the highlights of the trip for me. And it's huge. Yeah. Like it really is huge. And then decorated for the 50th is just amazing at night. So if you're coming into Disneyland and you're used to Cinderella's castle, it could be a little bit of a letdown. But once you get up to it and appreciate it for being the original. Yeah. Technically, it is Sleeping Beauty's castle is the title of it. Yeah. Now, if you see pictures or ever have the opportunity to go to Disneyland Paris, you will see that the castle in Disneyland Paris is actually Sleeping Beauty's castle. Like it looks like it. It looks like the trees look like the trees in Sleeping Beauty. It's awesome. But, all of the pictures of Walt Disney walking through the castle, like that's the castle he walked through, so it's the original. It's great. And at night it's lit up. It's beautiful. It's not as big. You can't see it as far in the park everywhere, but like it's, you appreciating it for being the original and, you can't see it poking out the trees at your hotel, like Disney World. Because if you're driving, you can see the castle. Huge, it's poking out, but you can't see this from the street when you're driving by Disneyland. Right. So if you just know going into it that when you walk around that corner and you head down Main Street, it's not going to be as big and but it appreciate it for what it is. It's amazing. I love it. Also, one thing, because it is smaller, the way that they make Main Street is, it brings the focal point to the castle. The way they build it, the size of the buildings, the size of Main Street. So because Sleeping Beauty's castle is smaller, that makes Main Street actually smaller too. The buildings are shorter. The street is narrower, so that way it's all proportionally correct. So now with Disney World, Cinderella's castle is much bigger, so it makes Main Street's buildings bigger, makes the street wider. Now, when I was walking down Main Street in Disney World, it didn't necessarily feel a whole lot bigger to me. Not a whole lot bigger. I think I'm just like focused on the castle, and the same thing in Disneyland. It's like I'm like looking at I'm looking forward. You always look forward. Or moving forward. What is the Walt Disney quote in the Meet the Robinsons? It's so great. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but it's, the Main Street. Yeah. So, and then another thing that you might expect, you think, both parks have Genie Plus. Yes. But they operate very differently. Yes. Depending on the park. Disney World, if you're staying at a Disney hotel resort, you have the chance to make your first. What's happening here? I have a puppet. You have what looks like an oven mitt on your hand, and you're. No, it's just the case for my headphones. I just have it on my hand. I'm just kind of twirling it around. So, Anyways, Genie Plus. So Disney World, if you're staying at a Disney Resort hotel, you can make your first Genie Plus selections at 7 a.m. At Disneyland, you cannot make your first Genie Plus selections until you scan into the park. So if park opens at 8, and you're in the park by 8:15, you can't make your selection until you have scanned your tickets and you're inside the park, and you can go on from there. So you can't pre-purchase or pre-select your Genie Plus selections. So things don't. Well, plus a good thing about that is that things don't sell out. So I was going to say, at first that might stress you out.
Because it did us for
It did it us for at first too. We're like, because we used Genie Plus for the first time in Disney World. And which, not that is not stressful. It's like, I mean, we were up way before 7, but, it's like, okay, get on at 7, get it loaded. And here's the thing, everybody for them, I mean, not, you can't say that for certain, but
a lot of people
are doing that exact same thing at 7 a.m. on the dot. They are on there trying to get the individual lightning lanes, Slinky Dog Dash, Mine Train, what have you. And it's very difficult by the time you get through. Your return time isn't until 6 p.m. Like, little stinking rainbow wheel is stressing you out. Like,
yeah.
Where in Disneyland, it's staggered. Like, you're back in line a little ways. Someone gets into the park at 8:05. They're making selections. You don't get until 8:15, and then you make your selections. So there's not a mad rush at 7 a.m. and everyone's trying to get the ride. So what we saw a little bit, because we didn't use Genie Plus, we did some individual lightning lanes when you and I just went, but we didn't use it fully. But what we saw a bit of, and what I have heard, is that it actually works a little more smoothly at Disneyland because of that.
Yeah.
And we noticed that like individual lightning lanes for, let's say, Rise aren't selling out. That could also be because a lot of people going to Disneyland are locals.
Yeah.
Or annual pass holders or I guess it's not annual pass holders anymore, Magic Key holder. And now they're changing it again, whatever it's going to be. Who go frequently. And so they aren't riding every single ride every time. They're not getting Rise every time or whatever, because they go once a week.
Yeah.
Where Disney World, obviously, it's more like
vacation,
but so we did, you might notice that these ones that sell out quickly in Disney World, you can maybe be a little more relaxed, like it's okay. Like, you can get in the park and you'll be able to get Rise, and it probably won't be for 8 p.m. You might get it for in a couple hours, know.
Yeah.
So there's that. Just knowing that if you're, it doesn't matter if you are staying at a Disneyland hotel or a Good Neighbor hotel, you can't use it until you get into the park.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody. So it's not like you're missing out because you're not staying at a Disneyland hotel. They can't, those guests don't get it either. So,
because most of the hotels at Disney World are Disney hotels.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas at Disneyland, there's only three Disney hotels.
Yeah.
And the rest are Good Neighbor or surrounding hotels owned by third parties.
Yeah.
So, I think Genie Plus works much smoother at Disneyland than it does in Disney World. Yeah. Bonus thing, at least not yet, no magic bands. But that's eventually coming.
It's supposed to be coming soon, and we saw the little kiosks, some of them in May. So,
but as far as August 2020, if you're listening to this, 2022, it may still feel like 2020, but it is August 2022. No magic bands yet.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Yeah.
So we already talked about shows. A little bit, but. The queues at Disneyland are a little bit different than Disney World. One thing we noticed when we went to Disney World, a lot of the lines and the queues, or I guess queue is a line, were inside buildings.
Like Small World was so weird to me.
Yeah. It was just like in the back alley. And
I didn't even know it was Small World.
Yeah.
Like if you've never been to Disneyland, but you've seen pictures, it's huge and it's all outdoor and you see the huge clock and I was like, where is Small World? Like it was, and then once you get inside, you see, but like, it was weird.
So, a lot of the lines at Disney World were inside. It makes sense because they have much more inclement weather
Yeah.
more often.
Yeah.
Whereas Disneyland, it's California. It hardly rains, from, May to October.
From May to May.
So you're going to the summer, it doesn't rain, but it's flipping hot.
It's hot.
So everything, Disneyland, most of the lines are outside. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing, is to be prepared. A lot of places don't have a whole bunch of shade. So,
Right. Which again, only like in the summer.
in summer.
Where
yeah.
if, in winter, spring, check the weather, because
Yeah.
we've been a lot when it rains. It does rain.
Yeah.
But it's not like in Florida where there'll be like this like downpour for 10, 20 minutes and then like sunny. If it's raining that day, it's probably going to be raining off and on all day. But then a lot of the lines are outside. So
Yeah.
either prepare for heat, or if you're going, in some time where there could be rain, I have been stuck in line for Incredicoaster, and all of a sudden it was raining off and on that day,
Yeah.
but it hadn't rained in a while. I was going on a single rider, and no, it wasn't even single rider. The line they weren't doing single rider.
that's right, yeah.
The line wasn't that long.
Yeah, 'cause it's been raining all day.
I went, and I have video, and it just starts downpouring and I didn't have my umbrella. I didn't have a poncho, because you had the stroller,
Yeah.
which had my poncho in
Yeah.
it. And it just starts like pouring rain. They closed the ride. I had to go find, you were all the way over on
We're by
the wharf.
Ghirardelli.
Yeah. So I had to run. It was pouring rain.
It was pouring rain. that river.
So, I was outside. I wasn't indoors.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, the queues, are just a little different. More of them are uncovered.
Yeah.
Uncovered.
Yeah.
So
And another thing, you do a lot of this at Disney World, but there's, as far as getting into the park, there's a lot more walking. There's not, you don't have buses going every, 15, 20 minutes to take you to each park. You have
at every hotel.
At every hotel.
Because all the parks are far away. Well, there's a few in walking distance of Magic Kingdom, but
the only
or I guess the boardwalks. I really want to check that out before we go again. Anyways, not the point.
Disneyland, you have the monorail, the Disneyland Hotel. You have the monorail that takes you into the park.
Yeah.
But that's really the only transportation from a hotel to a park.
Right.
The rest, you have to walk. They do have trams that go from the parking lot.
Yeah. Or buses.
Or buses.
Depending on the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's buses for some, trams for others. And some hotels do have shuttles.
Yeah. You just need to check with the hotel.
Yeah, if they're a little farther off, or they, you can't walk. But a lot of the ones just surrounding on like Catella and South Harbor don't offer anything, because it's a 5-minute walk.
Yeah,
maybe
so
10, 10-minute walk.
Where you're, Disney World, you have to rely on transportation, whether it's you rented a car and you have to rent. Apparently, when you park for Magic Kingdom, you have to then take a ferry to the park.
Oh, is that? Because I've heard of people riding the ferry.
Well, there's a ferry that goes from the Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom.
Which I'd like to ride the ferry.
Yeah. But if you drive to Magic Kingdom and you park in the parking lot, you have to take the ferry to the park. So you can't just park and then walk
and then
in.
walk up. Well, yeah, where would it have been? I don't remember seeing. Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
That's the nice thing about Disneyland is wherever you stay, you can walk. If you don't want to rely on
For the
anything, most part.
There are ones that you can't. And you might choose a hotel that's a little 10 minutes down the freeway.
Yeah.
It might be a little cheaper because it's not in walking distance and they offer a shuttle.
Yeah.
So not every hotel.
Not every, but most. So
there's a lot.
if you don't like having to rely on public transportation,
right,
you can just walk yourself.
I just think like, I gotta walk. But like you think about it, when you leave any of the parks at Disney World and you have to go get in that line for your bus back to your hotel, our last night, we waited almost an hour
Yeah.
for our bus. Oh my gosh. It was
We
the
were
last
so
day
tired. Oh
of,
my gosh.
7 or 6 park days. And so tired, watched the fireworks and everything last night. And that was the longest wait for the bus. I mean, typically we waited like a couple times we waited like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But if you think, yes, you're not, well, sometimes it was a good 5-10 minute walk to the bus.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting 20, 30 minutes for the bus. And then however long your ride is, where a lot of times your walk to your hotel, if you're staying in a good neighbor hotel, which we've talked about in, previous episode, your walk is 10 minutes, maybe 15. So yeah, you're walking, you're not riding, but you don't have to wait for anything.
Yeah.
You just go, and you'll get there as fast as you walk.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's a little different. You might be like, oh, there's no bus, but probably your walk isn't going to be too long. If you're, I'm not saying it's always fun. You're tired at the end of the day. It's not always fun, but yeah, that's different. So if you prefer a shuttle, just look, you might want to stay at a hotel that's a little farther away so that they offer that shuttle, but check before, make sure they offer one.
If you want.
Yeah, you could Uber. You could Uber. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but last but not least on our list, and probably the most important
Really
difference.
is. One thing you will definitely notice or should and really appreciate. I'll let you say it.
The churros. So many churros.
So many churros. They're everywhere.
Yeah, sweet, cinnamony, sweet sticks of goodness. Churros.
We had a hard time finding churros.
Yeah.
And
At Disney World.
And I told the story in our recap, I think, but like at one point we were walking through Hollywood Studios and I was kind of looking around and I heard this family behind me and the daughter was like, Mom, I want a churro. And she was like, I know, honey, that I'm trying to find one. They're not around. They're not, what should I say? They're not around as much as in Disneyland like we're used to. And I turned around, I was like, hey, I was like, me too, I'm looking for churros. And she was like, I know, I can't find them. Because
It's all popcorn and pretzels.
Yeah, there's lots of popcorn, which you have at Disneyland too. But there's a lot more churro carts. And there's different flavor churros at different carts. They're not all, the flavors are not at
every churro's made
cart.
equal.
I have a goal of trying like every different type of churro. So that's something that you can expect in Disneyland. A lot more churros. Have some fun with it. There's like a blueberry one. I want to try that one. There's a fluffernutter one. There's like a
electric one that's like covered in
sometimes
nerds.
there'll be like seasonal ones that are like sour apple. I've never tried that one, but so like churros.
Yeah. Embrace the churro.
Embrace it.
So we hope those help give you some expectation if you're going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Which we think you should. Go
Yes,
to Disneyland.
it is worth it. It is worth it.
Some people may think that is may not. I got Disney World. I got everything. It's like, no.
It's not everything. Just like you don't
everything.
have everything in Disneyland.
Yeah. There's some things at Disneyland Paris that's not in the United States. Oh,
man. If you ever get a chance to go to Disneyland Paris, ride Space Mountain. That is all I'm going to say.
And hope it
doesn't break down because it broke down when we were on it.
The best space mountain of all the space mountains.
Oh, wow, babe. Okay.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It just really stinks because I'm not going to spoil it if you ever get to go, because even though you're like, yeah, am I going to go to Disneyland Paris? But just in case, it's worth not spoiling this for you. But it broke down in mid-ride for us.
Yeah.
Lights came on. I had to close my eyes because I'm like, I'm not going to see what's around me. I don't want to spoil it.
And we were in a very precarious spot too.
But then we didn't go on it again. And it's like, I wish we could experience it for the first time again, not knowing what was coming and have it not break down. But it's like, even if we ever go back, which I highly doubt.
Because like because when you go through the line, they have like the warnings.
Don't do it. No.
I'm not going to say what it is, but it's all in French.
Oh, right.
So we didn't understand what they were saying. And so when we go on the ride, we didn't expect what to happen. So it was
amazing.
It was great. So yeah, so Disneyland Paris has things that Disney World and Disneyland don't have.
Yeah.
Shanghai Disney has things that
Ooh, I'd like to go to Shanghai Disney.
because they have the biggest castle.
Mm-hmm.
They have the newest Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which I just watched a ride. We watched a ride through on YouTube, which I normally don't do because I want to experience it. But like I'm never going to Shanghai Disney. So I was like, I'll watch this one because I'm never going to go. But
Tokyo Disneyland. Tokyo Disneyland is closest to Disneyland Anaheim. Like they have the same castle.
Oh.
But they are doing a Frozen Land.
I was just going to ask, which one is doing they're building Arendelle.
And they're building Arendelle.
How amazing would that be?
I think Disneyland Paris is doing Frozen too.
I mean, I go
Frozen
back. I'll go back there.
Not Frozen 2, but
I will definitely go back to Paris.
but I think we have a better shot of going back to Paris than we going to China.
Yes,
or
definitely,
Japan.
definitely.
So
definitely worth it if you ever get a chance.
If you're coming out to California and you're within a few hour drive of Anaheim,
it's worth it.
Just go.
Just go.
Just go. Just go.
Like it's easy.
Yeah. Just make the choice. Do it. Go. Do it now.
Okay.
Make it happen.
Stop. Okay. I'm thinking of a question that relates to what we're talking about.
Lay it on me.
But if there's one thing in Disneyland Resort that you could experience again for the first time, what would it be? Ooh, I actually like this question.
If there was a experience,
it doesn't have to be a ride.
Experience.
It could be food. It could be a show. It could be a ride. It could be whatever that you wish you could experience it for the first time. What would it be?
There's two.
No, I said one.
I know, but there's two.
Okay.
Tower of Terror.
I wish I could experience your first time on Tower of Terror too.
That was pretty good. And Space Mountain. Both of those. Actually, I take that back. Indiana Jones. Because I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And it scared me to death.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't duck more than halfway through the ride and I missed everything. So I'd like to go on that one again with a little bit more courage.
More courage.
Yeah. What about you?
I think, okay, well, you pick two. So I'm going to pick a ride and an experience. I wish I could experience, even though I remember, technically, this probably wasn't my first time watching the fireworks, but I remember the first time I watched the fireworks, old enough to remember it, because I hadn't been in a long, long time. And it was like my first time going back to Disneyland after a very long period of time. And I remember that experience of the fireworks. But I'd say I'd like to experience like the fireworks for the first time again.
Yeah.
Like in front of the castle, like either the 60th. Yeah, probably the 60th one. Like I'd like to experience that for the first time again. A ride. First thing that comes to my mind is Splash Mountain, because I don't remember experiencing that for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's great, and the drop and all that. So like I'd like to experience Splash Mountain not knowing what's coming, you know.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So a little correction.
Oh my gosh.
So Arendelle is coming to Disneyland Paris, like an actual Frozen land. There's a Frozen port at Tokyo Disney Sea, which is a water park.
Okay.
At Disneyland Tokyo.
Okay.
So it's an area of a water
park. Okay.
But the actual frozen Arendelle land is coming to Disneyland Paris.
Well, when I take my mother-daughter trip to Paris, I will take Gigi.
Yeah, there you
we'll
go.
go to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, there you go.
Which now, this is her first movie she wants to watch Frozen.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. She's been sick all week. So yes, I let her watch her.
Only thing keeps her happy and keeps you sane.
She points. I was like, you want this one? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
So what it was is Disneyland Paris was getting 3 lands. They were getting Avengers Campus, Arendelle, and Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, wow.
But because of the pandemic and budget cuts, they got rid of Galaxy's Edge. And it's only the 2. So they just opened up Avengers Campus.
Yeah.
And there was they had Rock and Roller Coaster, the Aerosmith.
Yeah, they had that in Disneyland Paris?
Yeah, at the Hollywood Studios or Walt Disney Studios or whatever it's called.
I vaguely remember walking through there.
It's very small.
I don't think we spent a lot of time there.
No, it was very small, so we didn't spend that much time.
I don't think we even rode anything.
We went on Tower of Terror.
We did?
Yeah, we went on Tower of Terror because we're like, oh, we should go on it because we don't have it because Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy already opened up at Disneyland.
Wow, I have no.
And so we went on Tower
of
Terror. And then, we just kind of walked around.
There was Toy Story Land. We walked through there, but we didn't ride anything. No. Was that where Remy's?
That's where Remy's was.
Okay, I remember.
We spent so much time trying to get on Remy's, but it kept breaking down.
I was so excited because I loved everything French. I had always wanted to go to Paris. Finally got to go to Paris, wanted to go my whole life. And I was all excited because there was this area of Disneyland that was all Parisian. And you were like, we're in France. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But it's anytime anything was you were in Paris, I was so drawn to it because I never thought I was going to be able to go to Paris.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, look at all this Paris stuff. And you were like, we're in Paris. Okay, we don't need to spend so much time here. I forgot.
Yeah. But we just hung around that area because we were waiting for it to open and eventually never opened.
It didn't. Yeah, I remember you walked in and you were indoors. Remember that area you walked through and it was all indoors and there were different places to eat.
Yeah, it was like you're walking through a Hollywood stage, studio, Hollywood, a studio building.
It's a blur. It's
but we didn't spend a whole lot of time there.
No.
We only spent one day.
And it wasn't even a full day.
No.
Because that morning we went to the Eiffel Tower and we went up to the Eiffel Tower. We did the Champs-Elysees and we did all that. And then we took a train and we just did, because I was like, okay, we go to Disneyland all the time. We're here. I would love to go to Disneyland Paris, but our trip was 4 days long.
Yeah.
We did not have a lot of time. So it was okay, I want to go, but I didn't want to spend so much time at Disneyland when we were in Paris. We really only spent
half a day.
It was a little more than half a day.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quick.
But so they converted that roller coaster because it was already there. It was adjacent to Avengers Campus, kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy is adjacent to a Bug's Land and now Avengers Campus and California Adventure. So they converted that into an Iron Man.
Oh, that's right.
You
told me that. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So they have that and then Web Slingers. And then they're going to make Arendelle. I believe they're going to have the Frozen ride.
Oh, that's such a good ride. Frozen Ever After.
I don't know if they're going to have another one.
It's so
another
good.
ride, but
that's really cool.
Yeah, so that would be. We'll just have to make another trip when that opens.
Yep.
So,
yep. So easy,
So we hope you find all this information helpful. Probably not, but it's fun to talk about it.
Hey, maybe
they do.
We found lots of things helpful in different podcasts.
That's
so
true.
You never know who you're helping.
That's true.
That's why we do this, to help people. No, just kidding.
No, we just like to talk about it.
We just like to talk about Disneyland.
Yeah, in between our trips.
Right.
So, how many days we got?
I don't know. We have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I have a lot to do in that period of time.
Yeah,
Jack said that today. He was like, or yesterday. It was 2 weeks yesterday. And he was like, 2 weeks. And I was like, oh gosh. Usually I'm excited, but right now school's starting in between that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
13 days.
Usually I've like thought more in my head about like, okay, what's everybody going to wear? What do I need to get? And I haven't thought about it at all. So I'm like, oh gosh, okay. Do we have what we need? Probably not.
No, but we'll make do.
Yeah.
We'll have fun.
I need to listen back to an episode where we talked about some summer tips, like getting those fans on Amazon.
Which we are doing.
I need to go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Follow us. Where can they follow us?
On Instagram.
Yeah. What is it?
I can't remember.
Because we're so active on there, you know, guys.
You know what? It's hard.
We've had this reel idea.
Oh my gosh, we're going to do it though.
I know, but we plan out, okay, we're going to do it Disneyland.
Disneyland.
And it's been
3 months.
3 months.
We're going to do it though. But that's the thing is you can record content and do it whenever you feel like it.
I know.
Dreaming.of.disney.podcast.
Good job.
Maybe if people interacted with me more, I would interact with them. I'm just kidding. But yeah, follow us. Just, you can leave us a review if you'd like, if you enjoy listening,
Can if you want.
And maybe
We're not begging.
We'll read it and we'd really appreciate it. And if we ever make you feel happy by listening to all of this, your review would make us feel happy.
Yes.
It's getting late for me.
Yep. All right. We'll end it here. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.